Morning has arrived once again here at El Rancho. Today things actually begin for the winter camp for 2019. Not the kids arriving, but we do have the leaders arriving, which is super exciting for me because that means my job actually starts. I get to spend my whole time getting hundreds of photos and hundreds of video clips. And then at the end of the day, I get to compile it all together for YouTube and also to show other people. And I love that. Now, I don't exactly know when everyone is supposed to be arriving, just simply because it's going to be quite stretched out, because that tends to be the way it goes. Like, I believe there are a few people that have already arrived today, which is kind of bizarre, but I think I've got actually like half an hour, give or take, before everyone is actually supposed to walk in. Everyone is actually supposed to get started. But you know, it's kind of give or take when it comes to camp. But I'm excited. It's going to be a bunch of fun just because it is. I said it is, and that's just the way it is, okay? Just roll with it and we'll have a good time. So we've just finished up our first session for the camp. Well, not for the camp, for the leaders training. There are two different things, okay? Just roll with me here. But it was super duper fun. Like, it started off with some pretty chill worship music, and that's nice. And then you get along a little bit, and we get Johanna, who was the previous runner of this camp, and she is so funny. I love the way that she speaks, and I sit there laughing the whole time, and it's just fantastic. To finish things off, there is some health and safety stuff, which I briefly listened to, but it's not a huge deal for me because, of course, my job is film and photography. So health and safety isn't the biggest deal when it comes to doing my own film and photography. Yes, I do have to look out for that, but you know, it's not as huge as some of these leaders that have to watch like 10 kids. And right now, it's lunchtime, which is fantastic, I suppose. But I mean, there's not much else I can say other than it's lunch. After that, they're getting into the color group. I'm going to be doing some random stuff. I don't know how much footage or photos I'm going to get from that because they're going to be all over the place, which isn't the easiest of things. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm doing my best. I'll try and get some good stuff, but I don't know. I don't know what else to say right now other than I'm trying. The last hour and a half has been spent around the other color groups, checking out what they're doing, getting some photographs, getting a few shots here and there, and it's been super fun. Minus a few things. I'm just a little bit triggered about something. You see, this kids camp has a winter theme about it. Like, that's the theme itself. And literally none of the color groups have chosen a winter themed name. They can choose any name that they want to, and none of them have anything to do with winter camp. And that annoys the crap out of me. What's the point of the theme if you're not going to try and chase it with everything? That's the fun part. I mean, sure, the stage looks wintry. And I mean, sure, there might be some other winter stuff. But you've got to go all out for the winter theme. Because, you know, the theme is a fun. It makes it that much better. And if you don't go for it, then what's the point? I mean, it's not that big a deal. And I really don't care that much. But I think it's just a little bit of fun to go after it. And I don't know, maybe it's just majorly because I haven't had the chance to actually do it because I've never been part of a color team. But I'm like, surely someone should be thinking the same as me. I don't know. Anyway, right now it's back to another session. We've got one of the really great leaders. His name is Dan. He's one of the oversight team members, and he's going to be speaking. And I'm super looking forward to it simply because I love Dan. I get on with it really well with him. We have a very similar sense of humor, in my opinion, and it's just a good time. We're also both ginger, so I guess that's kind of cool. Anyway, enough talk. I'm going to get myself ready for this next session and just try to keep my sanity, which is a pretty hard task.
Where are you going so fast tonight?
And that was another great seminar. Thank you, Dan, for that. It was so good to hear a little bit of your story and how your life is going and how you've practiced out some really cool stuff that we can take into our own lives. Now, what's happening at the moment, you might be asking? Well, not a whole lot. Right behind me, the band is practicing, which I don't have a lot to do with because, of course, I'm not musically talented at all. That's Connor and other friends that I have. But I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. I was going to say that the stage is pretty much finished, and it is, and it's looking beautiful, but I don't want to show you it just yet because that comes later. I have a lot of shots that I need to plan to put together for that one so they can use it for kids camp, and there's a whole lot of other stuff that I have to get done, and I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I think I'm just going to give up with the sentence and see what happens next. Well, not completely give up anyway. Just roll with me, act like I know what I'm doing when I really don't, and just try to have a good time. That just sounds like I'm on drugs. Oh, my life.
Bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you.
So I just spent the last little bit hanging out with Connor. He's just arrived from a DJ event that he did in New Plymouth today, or the other day to be precise, but he's arrived. I'm stoked to see him because he's one of my great friends, and it's been good to be able to just spend some time with him and wander around and chat about life, because of course we're both on this journey where we really want something out of life and we're really pushing towards it. Connor is definitely doing it far more successfully than I am, but it's cool to have someone else to journey and do that with. For instance, in terms of what I'm improving at the moment, I just got my glide cam out before because of course I've decided that's a tool that I want to use some more because it's super duper good for what it is, and it's not the easiest thing to master, and I'd like to get better at it so that I can use it more, so that there's more opportunity to make for better videos. Problem is, it means some more setup to my camera and some editing in terms of the setup, which is never too handy in terms of what I like to do. What's happening now is we're about to enter another session. It's the evening session, which tends to be a little bit darker. I'm honestly a little bit confused about this one because they've got someone speaking who I don't understand why they're speaking. And I mean, that's okay. That's completely fine. It's not my job to decide who's speaking and say what's right and what's wrong. All I want to say is that I don't quite understand. And I have every right to say that. I'll see how the service goes, the session goes. I'm open-minded, but I just don't quite understand, to be quite honest. Anyway, time to get started with this filmmaking because of course inside in the sessions you can get some nice footage. Tonight is going to be fantastic simply because it's not the regular setup that we normally have for kids camp. That begins, I believe, tomorrow. We just decided not to use it because I think it's just easier for everyone else. I'm looking forward to the other setup because the footage tends to be that much cooler because of all the lights and all the other setup, but I can still do my best in this area. So yeah, enough chit chat. This has been a long one. Let's get back to things. So I've got some spare time, and you know what that means? Raiding Connor's hot tub, which is a little bit odd. I swear, it's not gay. He is. But I've just come out of the session and my mind is going, what on earth just happened? I don't want to go into any details or anything like that because very simply, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I mean, it was a session. Wow, fantastic, good job. I hope that you all enjoyed it. I didn't. But I'm going to get into the hot tub. I don't really know how much of this video is left simply because there may be one last opportunity for a B-roll sequence. And that B-roll sequence is at a bonfire. And I like bonfires. And there's a doggo coming into my frame. Does this mean I'm going to get more views just because there's a dog in the video? Look, a dog! More views, right? So, hot tub, and then I don't know what else.
Two bros chilling in a hot tub, 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
I am so glad he said that because I wasn't sure if we were going to get that out. Oh my goodness, I needed that spa. I had a lot to get off my chest and I had a lot to talk about. I've got so much running through my mind at the moment. So many hopes and so many dreams that I needed to confide in someone else that would understand. And yes, it did involve some very, very foul language. I feel like that is something that is really important to be able to get some emotion out. If you don't use the language, it just doesn't seem authentic in some ways, which is pretty terrible, but trust me, I'm coming from the bottom of my heart, I'm being honest, and please just roll with it. And for the record, I do not condone foul language. I do not at all. I like to keep it quite private and the people that I do it with, and sometimes it'll just be for a little bit of humor. Sometimes I just feel like it's kind of right. Please don't judge me too much on this because it's pretty terrible and I understand that it's not really 100% right, and a lot of people will be going, Judah, that's not like you, and I'm like, yeah, it actually is. But anywho, I believe right now there's a bonfire that's going on, and I love to be able to film fire because there's something so simple yet so beautiful. There's something very artistic and majestic about the destructiveness of this item, this object. I don't even know what to call it, but I love to be able to film it, so I'm just gonna quit my talking, get on my way, get down to the bonfire where they're hopefully lighting it. If not, I'm just gonna be pretty darn sad because that'll be the end of this video. So this is a little bit awkward. You know how I said I was going to go to a bonfire? Well, we couldn't get it lit, so there was no bonfire. That was great. Not the greatest way to end the day, but you know, it is what it is. I would have enjoyed that bonfire immensely, but I didn't see any marshmallows, so I would have been disappointed that there weren't any marshmallows. So, hey, it's a lose-lose situation anyway. Anyway, it's time to wrap up today. I've got editing to do with this video, and then I need to, of course, make sure I get some sleep because the kids arrive tomorrow, which I'm actually looking forward to. A lot of people will be going, Judith, that's creepy. And I'm like, how dare you? It's not creepy. You see, that's when the activities actually start. That's when the party begins. That's when the fun actually happens. And I get to film the fun. And without the fun, there's nothing to film. So without that, I'm pointless. So enough talk. I'm going to get on with work and I'll see you tomorrow.